What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for playpicks.com and thelines.com. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Thursday night football between the Redskins and the Vikings. I know you are running to the window to want to bet this thing, but before we get started, please subscribe to this channel. Please like this video, and please let us know in the comments how you are going to play this game, or if you're going to play this game at all. I know it's kind of a dud here on Thursday night to get the week started here, but we'll see if we can't find anything that we're interested in this game, maybe to make some bets in this deal. But again, be sure and head to thelines.com and you go to the NFL right here at TNF. You can get a full write-up of the game right here, along with the odds and everything like that. So be sure and take advantage of that while you are here. All right, guys, let's look at the betting lines for this thing. We'll come over here. This is at DraftKings, looking at 16.5. You can see if you want the 16.5, you're paying juice. This thing might get to 17 by the time you even watch this video. Same deal over here at FanDuel, sitting at 16.5. Juiced if you want that 16.5. Total sitting at 41.5 at FanDuel, sitting at 42 over here at DraftKings. As far as the weather goes in this thing, it is a dome game. We're in Minnesota, so we do not have anything to worry about when it comes to the weather at all. Redskins notes here: 1-6 overall, 1-2 on the road, 2-5 against the spread. Only win of the year, of course, came against the putrid Dolphins. They did fight hard last week against the 49ers. It was a horrible weather conditions if you're watching that game, basically a monsoon that was going on out there. They did ultimately get shut out and lose 9-0, but did put up a pretty good effort against that 49ers team. On the Vikings side of things here, they are 5-2 overall, 3-0 at home, 5-2 against the spread. Ugly loss in week 4 to the Bears, if you guys remember that game. It was a pretty ugly loss to the Bears in that thing, but since then they've rattled off 3 straight wins, scored 28, 38, and 42 points in those wins as well. They still are a game back of the Packers there in the NFC North. I'll click over here on thelines.com if you want to read along and take a look at what's going on here. As far as the injuries go in this game, on the Redskins side of the ball, Adrian Peterson's questionable. Chris Thompson is out. Safety Monte Nicholson is questionable. On the Viking side, Adam Thielen already ruled out for this one. And again, you're not going to rush him back in this game where you are, 3-score favorites in this thing. So let's take a look at the offensive side of the ball for the Redskins. They are averaging 12.9 points per game, not a ton, only averaging 290.7 yards per game, 4.9 yards per play. So as you don't need any explanation on that, but all 3 of those are very, very bad. Passing 61.4% of the time. They're a bad team. When you're a bad team, you're playing from behind. When you're playing from behind, you're trying to play catch up, you're passing. So they are passing at a very high rate. 26th graded pass blocking unit, so that doesn't help when you have to pass a lot. 16th rated run blocking unit, according to Pro Football Focus. So actually, run blocking unit is pretty good. They just don't have a lot of opportunity to run the ball. Converting just 24.6% of their third downs. I'll continue to scroll here. If you are reading along, Vikings offense averaging 24.7 points per game, averaging 404.6 yards per game, 6.4 yards per play for this Vikings offense. It doesn't seem like this offense has really been rattling off. I guess you just remember that bad game against the Bears where they were just absolutely putrid, but have been pretty good otherwise. Passing 47.1% of their plays. That lets you know how much they want to run the ball, particularly when they are leading. They lead the NFL in rush rate as it is anyway, and it gets way high when they are leading in a game. So something to consider. 24th best pass blocking unit. It's been the story with this team all year long. If they can keep Kirk Cousins clean, he passes well. If they can't keep him clean, then he is in trouble. And you can see their pass blocking, according to Pro Football Focus, has not been all that great. 12th best run blocking unit, however, which is really great for a team that wants to run the ball all the time as much as the Vikings do. Converting 42.1% of their third downs. If we're looking at the pace in this game, Vikings 24th in situation neutral pace. So you can see that they kind of play at a deliberate pace, certainly in the bottom third there of the league. Redskins are 13th, but they're so rarely in situation neutral that the statistic is, I'm not going to say worthless, but kind of worthless. They're pretty much always losing. So they're always trailing. They're always playing in a negative game state as opposed to a neutral game state. Redskins defense here. And I'll flip over if you want to take a look at what the lines look like over at FanDuel for this one. Redskins defense in this one, allowing 25.1 points per game, 385 yards per game. 15th rated defense overall by Pro Football Focus, however. So the guys that are watching this with our eyes don't think that they've been just absolutely horrible so far. 23rd pass rush, 19th coverage grade by Pro Football Focus. If we go over to DVOA, 24th rated DVOA defense overall, so way down in DVOA, 24th ranked pass defense, and 18th ranked rush defense, according to DVOA for the Redskins. On the Vikings side of the ball, they are allowing 17.6 points per game, 348.7 yards per game. So you can see under 18 points, under 350 yards a game, defense has been pretty damn good. Number 4 rated defense overall, according to Pro Football Focus. Number 11th ranked defense overall, according to DVOA. So you can see a top 5 defense, according to Pro Football Focus, a top 11 defense, according to DVOA. Number 14th ranked pass defense, DVOA. Number 7th ranked rush defense, DVOA. All right, so let's look at the total in this thing, and let's make a case for the under. So if we wanted to play the under, we would head over to DraftKings anyway, because we're getting that extra half point. Sitting here at 42, let's make a case for the under here. One of the ways that this thing could stay under is just the Redskins don't help get this thing over the total. They have not scored more than 20 points in a game since week 2, and they're averaging less than 13 points per game on the entire season here. So certainly, if you don't get any help whatsoever and the Vikings have to score all 43 points, then you really do start looking towards an under in this thing. Another way that this thing could stay under is the home field advantage for this Vikings defense apparently has been very real. I mean, listen, we're talking about a small sample size here. We could go back the last couple of seasons, but just this year's alone, 12, 14, and 20 points to opponents this season at home, and that includes games against the Eagles and the Falcons in week 1. Week 1 Falcons weren't all banged up and injured, and the Eagles as well. So you can see they've held some pretty good offenses to pretty low scores as well. The other way that this thing, the other way that this thing could just stay under is both these teams love to run the ball. I mean, the Vikings run the ball at the highest rate in the entire league, and here's the deal. When they get up in games, when they are leading by any amount in a game, they run the ball 62% of the time. 62% of the time they run the ball if they are leading by any amount whatsoever. Redskins, hell man, if you look last week, Redskins ran the ball twice as many times as they passed the ball. Granted, it was bad weather and all, but I mean, that just lets you know how badly they want to run the ball. I mean, they ran it more than twice as many times as they passed it last week. Let's look at a case for the over here. And as we're sitting here, we were saying this thing might get to 17. As we were sitting here, it goes to 17. So that lets you know this game, how flowing this game is going to be. This thing will probably toggle back and forth between 16.5 and 17, but all the way up to kickoff here. But that's funny that we were saying this thing probably going to get to 17, and there it goes and clicks over to 17. So if we are going to play the over, we'll go over to FanDuel because we're getting, half point. Case for the over, Vikings scored 28 or more points in 5 of 7 games this year. So if you're scoring 28, 30 points and you're, looking at a total of only 41, you only need the other team to score 10. You only need the other team to score 13 points. I mean, we're not asking very much out of the Redskins here. If the Vikings kind of go off on kind of like how they have in a lot of games this year, the only 2 games that they did not score 28 or more points were against the Packers and Bears. And those defenses are ranked number 6 and 7 DVOA in the league. So, I mean, the only time they did not score that many points was when they faced 2 top 10 defenses in the league. On the other side, the Redskins are giving up 30 or more points. They've given up 30 or more points in 4 of 7 games. So again, if the Vikings are scoring a lot and the Redskins are giving up a lot, I mean, there's a chance here this Vikings team could go for 35, 38 points in this game. Then the Redskins basically have to do little to nothing to get this thing over the 41.5 that we're finding over here on FanDuel. And even if the Vikings do go run heavy in this game, which we expect them to do, which they, want to do whenever they get up in a game, the Redskins are just 25th in the league in rushing success rate allowed. So, I mean, they are allowing good, solid runs by their opponents so far this year. So even if the Vikings run a lot, even the Vikings do run a lot, that doesn't mean that necessarily they won't score a lot of points here, because they could be getting big chunks on those runs against this Redskins team as well. Let's look at some of the props here. Start with the player props, and look, touchdown score, of course, anytime touchdown score, Dalvin Cook to score at all in this game is pretty much a lock, but you do have to lay the 225. So it just kind of depends on what your bankroll is if you want to go that direction. But I mean, I would say Dalvin Cook scoring in this game is very, very highly likely. Coming down here, some of the other ones I wanted to look at here is some of these receiving yards here. We can look at the passing totals. If this has any, I didn't see any sort of edge in here in these, so I'm not going to play these. Cousins at 240, Keenum at 225, kind of about right to me. One of the things I do like here, and this is kind of going out on a limb, but it seems like a lot of people, actually some other people like this as well, is Madison over rush yards. If we expect this Vikings team to get a healthy lead in this game and run the ball as much as they want to run the ball here, I expect them to maybe not take a chance on getting Dalvin Cook injured in this game. And if this game's well in hand early in the fourth quarter, I think we could see a ton of Madison to kind of salt this game away, salt the clock away, and take those touches and everything away from Dalvin Cook and try to keep him as healthy as humanly possible. Of course, this Vikings team sitting 5-2, looking to make a run in the NFC. So like over Madison yards for sure. Already have that one in my account as well. The other thing that I'm looking at, and I haven't put this in the account yet, but probably will, is the under on Steph Diggs receiving yards here. Set at 89.5, right? I mean, that's 90 receiving yards. And you're like, oh yeah, but I mean, it's the Redskins, but still, it doesn't really matter. When you look at this, like, let's just look last week in the NFL. There were only 15 guys in the NFL that reached 90 yards rushing. I mean, so think about this. Every single team has 5 receivers and 2 tight ends and a running back and whatever. And only 15 guys reached the 90-yard receiving threshold. 2 of those guys were tight ends. 1 of them was a running back. And one of the guys got there on 2 catches because he had a 74-yard catch. So I know it seems like, but 90 is a lot. 90 is a lot of receiving yards. And so, and again, if I expect this Vikings team to be ahead, which I do, and if I expect them to want to run the ball as much as they want to run the ball, then it leads me to the under here. So, this prop fits my narrative of how this game is going to play out. One of the other things I'm going to do here, though, however, is take the over on Irv Smith Jr. as far as receiving yards. Whenever we look at Irv Smith, Adam Thielen has been ruled out in this game. So you have Diggs and you have Rudolph kind of, I expect Rudolph to get maybe an extra target or 2, but Irv Smith is probably the most likely guy to benefit from Thielen being out here. Look, they want to get Irv Smith. They spent some draft capital on this guy. They think he's talented. They want to get him going. If you look last week, when Thielen goes out in that game last week, Irv Smith gets 6 targets in that game. So for me, I'm going to go over the 23 yards here for Smith, and I'm probably just going to correlate it, also play the over on the receptions as well with that. Probably, listen, 3 for 27. I mean, really 3 for 30. We can't get that here with Adam Thielen standing on the sideline with a very, very talented and athletic dude in Irv Smith. I think that we can. So that's kind of how I'm looking at the props here as well. And again, depending on the size of your bankroll, like I said, I think that, Dalvin Cook getting in the end zone is a pretty solid play as well. All right, on the game here, look, now that this thing has moved to 17, I literally was going to give you a big spiel about if this thing moved to 17, that I might actually take just a small piece of the Redskins here for them to come in the back door in this game. The Vikings, not saying that they're going to be looking ahead to next week, but they do play the Chiefs next week. And, you have a much bigger competition. You have that extra week to kind of rest up here and things and maybe, get real ready for this game against the Chiefs. And so I can see this Vikings team getting up, scoring a lot of points through the first 3 quarters, kind of backing off, softening up in the fourth quarter there, and the Redskins maybe sneaking in the back door. I mean, 17 points in a 42-point game is a lot of points. So probably a small unit play for me, actually, as soon as we wrap this video on the Redskins at plus 17. Nothing I'm jumping up and down about. I'm just kind of playing out this game in my mind, and a 17 kind of fits that narrative of, this Redskins team being able to score late whenever the Vikings back off a little bit and get this thing within the number. But again, not a huge play or anything like that for me. The one thing that I did and is already in my account is the over in this game, over 41.5. And the reason I'm going over here, one, like I said, I think that this Vikings team, it makes the most sense for them to go ahead and do what they got to do, get a big lead, and then maybe get some of these starters out of the game. I mean, look, they're already down Adam Thielen in this one, and you don't want to mess around and get Steph Diggs hurt. You don't want to mess around and get Dalvin Cook hurt and all that. So I think you probably see the team kind of back off a little bit after they get a commanding lead later on in the game. But through that, I think that they do their part, scoring 31 or more points in this game. And then when they back off, the Redskins kind of help us out here, score their 13-ish, something like that, get us some garbage time scores and get this thing over 41.5 here. I mean, whenever do I think that the Redskins are going to just get completely shut down by this Vikings team? I do not. So as long as they can put a handful of points on the board, I think that the Vikings do their part as well at home, and we get the over here in this game of over 41.5. So that's how I've been playing this thing. Mostly props for me in this thing. That's where kind of the big action for me is here. I do have the overplay, and like I said, I might go sneak in that plus 17 Redskins, just a smallish play there. I don't love backing the Redskins at all, but 17 is just such a massive amount of points in such a low total game. All right, guys, again, you can head over to thelines.com. You see right up here, you head to NFL, Thursday Night Football, complete write-up. Go ahead and take advantage of that. You can head over to PlayPicks/bonus. You see the link right up here. And you can take advantage of all of these sportsbook offers. I mean, these are the best offers on the internet. So if you're going to play, you might as well take the free money and the free bets and all that. So if you're over in Jersey or Pennsylvania or wherever in the hell you might be that has legal sports betting, be sure and head over to the Lines and PlayPicks and take advantage of these deals. I mean, free bets, free money, matching bets, all kinds of stuff like that. Certainly the way you want to go here. And finally, as always, guys, please subscribe, like this video, and let me know in the comments how you're playing. Look, I'm trying to just give you as much information as humanly possible that can help you make the decision that you want to make anyway. I'm not the 5-star lock of the century guy. I'm never going to be that guy. That's not what we're trying to do here on this channel. We want to make you a better sports bettor, give you the information that you can dissect, and hopefully lead you to how you want to make a bet on these games. So appreciate it, guys, and we'll be back for Sunday Night Football.